A few months ago, I made some artwork trying to figure out a Wonder Woman concept that could work in this new DCU. I'm also trying to imagine an actress who would fit in this DC character, this main DC character of all time. So I decided to do a breakdown of everything I've done so far. At least I try it to do, because the truth is I never actually finish it. But I thought it would be interesting to talk about in the video and showing every process, every step of what I made, and try to explain each direction I took throughout this past few months. So if you want to follow this process with me, stick around, because I'm going to talk all about it right after intro. Well, the first thing I did was go through Twitter and see which actress people were talking about and look some of many Wonder Woman fan casts out there. And it's interesting because some of these choices are really cool to imagine. I even tried a few casting myself, like Melissa Barrera, I don't know the name, but as Absolute Wonder Woman, and I think she would be a great Wonder Woman or adaptation of her. I think she has a facial structure for a kind of new Diana, and honestly, I would really like to see that. Other choices, in my opinion, don't work as well. Adria Arjona is of those cases, and I think it would better if she really was Maxima instead in the new movie of Superman, Man of Tomorrow. But what I wanted to do here is try to find a more faithful version of the Wonder Woman, Diana Prince, in the same way that David Corenswet did for Superman. As you can see here, there's a lot of fan casts, but one that really caught my attention was Sarah Pidgeon, and you kind of see that she has a Diana vibe, like Amazon vibe. She is a really elegant woman. I think with the right characterization, it would be pretty easy to imagine her as Wonder Woman, as you can see here. And I think she is the best cast at all. That is the best cast. And well, here I made a version with a more classic hairstyle, something even closer to Gal Gadot's hair. And for this second version, I remember an animated movie to give Wonder Woman a very different look, which was Justice League War. If anyone remembers that animation, you will know her design is pretty different. And instead of using the classic color scheme, like a gold and red and blue, there is much stronger presence of silver, and her hair is completely different too. It's pulled back and held by silver tiara, and I think that's actually a really interesting approach for Diana, and something that could also work really well in this new DCU universe, especially since we already saw Superman being adapted with elements like that em New 52. Português e inglês. Caraca, cara. So another version is the 4, made inspired by George Paris. George Paris had this style, this hairstyle for Diana. So I tried bringing that curly hair into this version. I tried bringing a little bit of Linda Carter, Wonder Woman, as the 3rd version. In my opinion, it did work quite as well, but I thought it was cool to include it just add more variation to the concept. And for the image 6, I tried to make something like a second George Paris inspired version, but this time with the hair parted instead of completely pull it back. So I think all of these variations can be taken into consideration, because Sarah Pidgeon has a very strong facial structures and features, especially around the cheekbones and that nose, this nose that really unique. You know, as you can see here, I'm showing this part of the process where the first thing I did was to trying to remove, obviously, her blonde hair. I took this photo here of Sarah Pidgeon with blonde hair, and I asked it to AI to remove that hair and replace it with more shorter hair, so I can draw over it, just so I could have a cleaner base to start drawing. It already looks pretty close to the final version. I only change the eyebrows a little bit, and as well as the lips, and then I kept building everything up through photo bashing. In the end, I could add the hair and I drew myself. And obviously I also did a lot of drawing process during this part just to make everything clearer and more details. And we have to go to another section that is the chest designs. Let's go through there. I like a lot of this Wonder Woman of Alex Ross because it brings this very old-fashioned, exaggerated look. In my opinion, I didn't really like the version I made because it turned out way too exaggerated and it didn't match Sarah Pidgeon's vibes. Sarah Pidgeon is a very slim actress, and for her body structure, that costume just wouldn't work because she's not a very huge look woman. So there's no reason to make this costume feel more heavy or brutal. So that actually one of the things I'm going to talk about a little later. So the direction here was not to make a battle suit. I will explain later. Here, I tried a few variations, although I barely changed much. The first version was the one I liked the most because I really liked the Justice League, the Justice League animated suit design, and that Wonder Woman costume was one of my inspirations, even though it's very simple. So even though I didn't go too deep into these versions here, they were still some of the things that helped me to find the final direction for the costume. And from there we can start talking about the swimsuit part. These two versions I made, these two approaches, because that's a pretty interesting part. I'm trying to explain why Wonder Woman would wear a swimsuit in the first place. Here I made the full version of this costume to see what it would look like with Sarah Pidgeon actually wearing it. And the harmony of the costume is really interesting part because, as you can see here, I added a skirt, right? I can add that skirt. I think that skirt, in my opinion, would get in the way of upper part of the suit, which is already pretty small. Because if we mark these areas properly and break them down, I noticed that those two parts would ended up look kind of strange. So we would have the chest piece and the skirt and the boots like this 1 and 2 and 3 version, but it would feel like two separate blocks that don't really harmonize. I didn't want the skirt to be bigger, and so I preferred to go with a more short swimsuit. I say that because I don't think the lower part has to be the same side as the upper part. I think there's a way to see this without making it feel sexualized, and that's it. I chose this classic version. I think it would work better. We can talk about these little stars here. The stars are very classic part of this costume because in the comics the lower part of the suit is basically just fabric curved in stars. So I organized those stars by placing this 3 main stars in the front. And since Wonder Woman's lower section is basically star covered chart, I also decided to implement those stars almost like adornments. So kind of like the Captain Marvel costume, we can search for this costume here. I try to take an inspiration from that kind of design, especially in this chest area, you can see here, and it had those golden details, as you can see here, those little triangles that add a certain richness of the tail for the costume as a tactical version. And in that way, instead of just throwing random stars onto the costume, it actually helps me to improve the visual communication of the whole design, and first this inferior swimsuit design. That's what I started thinking about Wonder Woman's costume as a ceremonial costume. It's actually very similar to this Alex Ross version because in this history, Diana is acting as an ambassador of peace, so she deliberately present herself to the outside world wearing this old-fashioned costume because within the costume of Themyscira, within Amazon culture, that outfit actually means something.
Aren't the stars and stripes a little old-fashioned? everything that's happening, the things that are about to come to light, people might just need a little old-fashioned.
I don't know I would really change anything about those bracelets in the term of concept. The only thing I actually changed it was the visual texture. I added those lines to suggest the heat signature, but I also made the bracelets a little shinier so they would resemble Linda Carter costume a bit more with those more reflective bracelets. The belt, for example, is a pretty bold, but it still has the level of detail. For example, here I made the eagle symbol. You can see that here. I also added these marks here. I didn't actually write anything yet, but I would like there to be some kind of message there, something about what the costume is trying to say through the belt, right? A message to the outside world in the belt. And the language of Themyscira. I don't know the language of Themyscira, but it would be interesting to see that on the belt. The tiara too, I didn't make a specific variation section. I think the simple classic head star works really well. As you can see here, I try to bring as much of the classic Wonder Woman as possible into Sarah Pidgeon. Like I said before, Sarah Pidgeon has that classic Diana look. She has a Diana's face, and that is really interesting. So what I really had to figure it out here was which version of Diana I wanted to bring out through her. That's the basic what I tried to do here. And now we have the final shot of this Sarah Pidgeon Wonder Woman. As you can see here, I refined it a few parts. It's still pretty simple sketch, but it helps a lot to get a complete view of what she would look like as Wonder Woman. And it carries a message that she's supposed to carry throughout her journey, following the George Paris vibe. And I want to keep exploring new ideas like this for now. And of course, the character that immediately comes to mind is Batman, and a lot of people want to also want to know who the character is going to be and what the costume is going to look like, and what direction they're going to make with the character. I'm looking for this. I actually made a few Batman concepts myself already. I have on my Instagram and Twitter. But let's save this for next chapter. Let me know what you think in the comments below, okay? And follow me on Instagram if you want to see more video like this, okay? I see you guys soon. Tamo junto.